third thing is this. How can I do a better job of empowering my volunteers? So if you have volunteers, I do not have volunteers. I am it. I show up. I have a small youth group. I have maybe 6, 7. Now that's not true. I just lied to you. I have volunteers. They're not the kind of volunteers that stay down there with me every week. But I have volunteers that come in who our worship pastor comes down and helps lead worship. I consider him on my staff. Right? So, like I said, we got to get out of the mentality that everybody has to hang with you during the whole youth meeting. I have people come in and out who are volunteers who help facilitate that youth ministry. And so the worship pastor comes down, does, 10 or 15 minutes of worship. I have a lady coming down tonight who's going to do a little game for us, something she suggested. And I said, well, that'd be great. Would you come down and lead that? And she said she would. So I'm excited to have her come down there and lead that. But some of you have traditional staff, right? You have traditional volunteers that they stay with you within the program, and they help facilitate a small group, or they're helping with activity, or they do the game, or whatever they may be. But let me give you just a few thoughts on empowering your volunteers. First of all, equip them to the level that they want to be equipped. You understand their level. I know I am famous for doing this, that I will over-equip somebody who says, look, I am at this level. I don't want to be at this level. What is the basic things I need to know? So I will equip people based on their desire to do whatever role or responsibility they have, right? If I have somebody who's doing games, I will send them a playlist of links of games that I think are cool, right? And I'll say, okay, hey, you can use this list, but find something else, right? Search your own games, do that. That's fine. And I'll say, but I won't give them 10 books with games in it. I won't give them, I won't bug them with 25 links in their text about this game or that game. I'm going to equip them to the level at which they're committed to. I'm not going to over-equip them. I'm going to equip them just enough to say, look, this is your role. That's what you want to do. And if they want more, then I will equip them with more. Not just for games, but as a whole, right? So I may put them on my email list and just send them as a group articles or things to be aware of, or notes just about our youth ministry, about, what's going on that we need to be aware of, that you should be aware of, right? So number one is, if you want to empower your volunteers, equip them to the level that they want to be equipped. Number two, take up for them when they're right. Listen, if you want to empower a volunteer, if they've done the right thing, don't throw them under the bus. And listen, you may get in trouble too, but when the dust clears, that volunteer knows that now if they've done something stupid, that's a different thing. You don't have to empower them for doing dumb things. But if they do the right thing for the right reasons, then empower them. If they've done the right thing for the wrong reasons, right? Work with them. But stick up for them and say, look, they're a valuable part of the team. Yes, did they execute that perfectly? No, but I'm going to stand behind them because maybe they just needed a little bit of training. They weren't being malicious. They weren't being deceitful or anything like that. You're just saying, look, I'm going to come alongside of them and I'm going to help them. And I'm going to empower them by believing in them and taking up for them when they've made a mistake. The fastest way to get rid of staff is simply don't stick up for them. They'll know whether you're sticking up for them or not. They'll know whether or not you are on their side or not, or whether they're just a warm body that, look, I'll replace you later, but right now I'm just going to throw you under the bus. No, if you want to empower them when they've made a mistake, or if they've done the right thing, take up for them and stand behind them as much as you can. Right? If it's something they've done that's really, really dumb, maybe not so much. But if their best intention is there, then empower them. Okay? Number three, give them choices and the boundaries to act within them. Give them choices and boundaries. So you're going to give them agency. You're going to say, look, you're going to lead, but I want to give you the ability to make decisions, right? You're not going to make decisions for the whole youth ministry, but you're going to make decisions for your small group. You're going to make decisions for, for the activity, for the worship songs, if they lead worship, right? And all you're going to do is give them boundaries and says, look, you can make choices within this. Don't do any games that are going to hurt people, right? Don't do any games that are going to be too touchy. If that's the way you say, look, we can't do a lot of games that are touching because for whatever reason, okay? And you say, look, here's the boundaries. If you can equip and empower a volunteer with boundaries, you are saying, look, here's the boundaries. Everything within that is going to be fine. You're going to do fine with that. So the problem is when you don't equip your volunteers and you don't empower your volunteers with boundaries to work within, and then they step out of that and you get mad at them, well, they're going to tell you that you didn't tell them not to do that. You can say, do whatever you want. Well, they took that literally and they did whatever they wanted to do. So yeah, if you are going to empower your volunteers, give them boundaries to work in. It doesn't matter whether they're a small group leader, they're leading games, they're leading worship, they're on an event or activity or whatever, but give them room to make smart decisions. Give them the boundaries and then say, okay, act within these parameters. And you are empowering them to make right decisions. If they understand your culture, the basic premises of your youth ministry, the basic standards of the youth ministry, then allow them to operate in that to make wise choices. Don't treat your volunteers like dummies. Treat them respectfully and treat them based on the level, how long they've been with you. If you have an adult volunteer who's been with you 3 years, we'll treat them differently than the volunteer who's only been there 6 months. And the 6-month person may need more boundaries than the person that's been with you for 3 years. So just act accordingly. Act like, that there's a difference between the person with 3 years and the person who's been with you 6 months. And then if you do that, then you are empowering your leaders, and empowered volunteers will show up for you, okay? Empowered volunteers will show up for you, whereas disempowered volunteers will leave you. So if you want to keep those leaders, empower them.